Dandavat pranam to everybody assembled.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat pranam. Dandavat pranam to everybody. Shri Ramachandra Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Mother, yes, Prabhu, can I start?
Yes, please go.
मैंने बंद कर रखा है.
Hare Krishna Ramachandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thanks. So Hare Krishna Prabhu's Mataji, welcome all of you for this Srimad Bhagavad-gītā session. So let us start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. जगन्नाथ बलदेव रमाई की जय, नरसिंह भगवान की जय, पंचतत्व की जय, षड गोस्वामी की जय, गुरु परंपरा की श्री प्रभुपाद. I think we have actually completed twice the whole 18 chapters, 2 cycles. So from now it's like a theme based. So today's will be discussing 7.1, 7th chapter, first verse, wherein we would like to know who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, knowledge of the absolute truth. So first let us recite this verse. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashrayah Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Jnasyasi Tachrunu. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashrayah Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Jnasyasi Tachrunu. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Jnasyasi Tachrunu. Translation by Divine Guru Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Such a wonderful, very, very important chapter. See, with the connection between the 6th and 7th chapter, in the last verse of 6th chapter, 6.47, Krishna explains that a yogi who always thinks of me in devotion is the best. He said, a yogi who always thinks of me in devotion is the best. Madgaten antaratmana. And in that verse, 6.47, he says, concentrate on him in full faith. And faith comes from knowledge. Because without knowledge, one may doubt Krishna's position, right? So in 6.47, this is what he's saying. Who always thinks of me in devotion is the best. And the first verse of this chapter, 7th chapter, he explains how to do so. So in chapter 7 to up to chapter 12, Krishna, he presents the knowledge of himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why does he do so? To inspire and strengthen bhakti. And in 7 point, in this verse, he's stressing it. He says, Tachrunu, right? Tachrunu means hear. He stresses on hearing. So first, knowing Krishna by hearing about him. So Krishna requests Arjuna to hear both his material and spiritual energies. And he declares that the transcendentalist who succeeds in truly knowing him is most rare. So the point is, the rare understanding of Krishna and his energies obtained through proper hearing by Shravanam. And the point is that to really know a thing requires more than only some existential data, right? Or an awareness of its relation to the absolute, Krishna. So one can know everything, material and spiritual, simply by hearing of Krishna and his energies. Just by hearing. No need to go through research and work and all. Everything is already done. Just by hear now. That's why he says, Mai asakta. Mai means unto me. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna says, unto me, Krishna. See, we cannot interpret it in a different way, right? See, Prabhupada says, when I say that give me a glass of water, it means that I am the person who is in want of a glass of water. I am the person. I am the person. And if you supply me and not to others, then it is right. If you supply me that water because I want, to me and not to others, then it is right. So when Krishna says unto me, that means Krishna, not anybody else. So Krishna says, Mai, unto me. Asakta, that is attachment. So one who has developed attachment for Krishna, that is Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada again, he says, just like if you have got attachment for your lover, you always think of him. That is lover consciousness. See, it is stated that a woman who has got another lover besides the husband, okay, she shows that being very attentive in performing her household duties. But she's always thinking when she will meet the lover at night. So the point is, as it is possible that in spite of our all engagements, if I love somebody, I think of him always. So materially is possible, so why not spiritually? So that is the whole teaching of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says to Arjuna, Yudhyasya mam anusmara. In 8.7 he says, therefore Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, at the same time carry out your prescribed duties of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me, and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. So Krishna is everything. But the atheist, no, he will say, oh, they have installed some wooden forms and they are worshipping as gods. This is atheistic. But one who knows the science of Krishna, he will understand Krishna is everything. Therefore, he can appear in everything. See, if electricity current is everywhere, right? So wherever you touch current, you will feel, oh, here is current. Similarly, Krishna current in impersonal form is everywhere. It is there, but you cannot see, right? That's why it is known as impersonal form. Full, whole, all, it is all pervading. But it is a technician who knows how to use that current. The material current talking about, that's all, right? So just like we get the telephonic connection, right? We simply inform the person, the telephone department. We deposit money, they come immediately. They find out where the connection can be done. And he does his work. We do not know. He knows the technique. How to join the telephone wire. Within a few seconds, he joins. And then again, ring, ring, ring. It's ready. So one must know how to connect Krishna. Krishna is everywhere. This is Krishna conscious movement. See, one must know how we can derive from these features of Krishna's forms in wood or iron or metal. Right? That doesn't matter. Krishna is everywhere. But you have to learn how to contact Krishna with everything. Connect to Krishna. So to always think of Krishna in devotion, what we must do? We must hear about Krishna and his supreme position. So that's why he says to Arjuna, now hear from me in this. So in this chapter, he's telling about himself. That is how to know Krishna in full. Hear from him. And practicing Bhakti Yoga, right? How Bhakti Yoga with mind attached to Krishna in full consciousness of him. Very important point. So full and scientific knowledge is Krishna. Full and scientific is Krishna. It is not the impersonal Brahman or Paramatma. That is only partial knowledge. In full means to know the absolute truth. To know the absolute truth, living entity, material nature, their manifestations, verify everything. And Krishna says, without doubt, no tachshunu, without doubt, refers to the firm faith that Krishna is the ultimate knowledge and realization. Krishna consciousness process reveals full knowledge. Why? Because mind is fully attached to Krishna. So the process to concentrate the mind is a ninefold process, right? Shravanam, Kirtan, Vishnu. But the first and foremost is Shravanam. That's what is indicated by the word Tachshunu, this verse. And whom to hear it from? Only Krishna or pure devotees, not non-devotees or scholars. And Prabhupada in the purport has given the process of understanding Krishna. See, very powerful statements, right? See, in Bhagavatam 7, 10, 14, a devotee should not be aggrieved in an awkward position, nor should he feel extraordinarily happy in material opulence. This is a way of expert management of material life. See, it is very clear, right? These sentences you must learn. You must repeat again and again. That is, a devotee should not be aggrieved in an awkward position, nor should he feel extraordinarily happy in material opulence. So this we have to avoid. This is the way of expert management of material life. And this is the question before us. That we have to arrange our material life expertly. And this is the way to arrange it. This is how it has to be done. So this is the answer Prabhupada gives. A devotee should not be aggrieved in an awkward position, nor should he feel extraordinarily happy in material opulence. This is the way of expert management of material life. Now, because a devotee knows how to manage expertly, he is called Jivar Mukta. Srila Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrta Sindhu, Iha yasya harer dasye karmana manasagira nikila shwapi avastasu jivan mukta sa uchyate. He says, a person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna, with his mind, body, intelligence, and words, is a liberated person even within this material world, although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. So because of constantly engaged in devotional service, in any condition of life, a devotee is free from all material bondage. Bhakti punati ma man nishta shopakan api sambhavat. Even one born in a family of meat eaters is purified if he engages in devotional service. That's why Bhagavatam 11, 14, 21, Srila Jiva Goswami very nicely, very logically supporting that anyone who chants about the pure life and activities of Prahlad Maharaj is freed from the reactions of material activities. So there's some very important verse in Bhagavatam. Canto 1, chapter 2, verse number 17 to 21. So these verses are directing us to the Supreme Absolute Truth, Krishna. And it shows us the way how to approach the Supreme Absolute Truth. So these 5 verses should be learned and recited. It's very beautiful. So 1 to 17 to 1 to 21, 5 verses. It's very nice to recite, right? And in fact, we should learn to memorize these verses. And in fact, all these 5 verses, as Prabhupada has given in this 7.1 purport, the verse which are recited today, in the purport we go through, you have to go through that. All these 5 verses, 1 to 17 and 21 to 21 from Bhagavatam, are very nicely given, and all together he has given one translation. So this translation is very important, and we should learn that paragraph by heart along with these verses. Shranvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantestoha hi abhadrani Vidunote suhursatam Nashta Prayasha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Tada Rajastamo Bhavaha Kamalobhadayaschaye Cheta Eter Anavidham Stitam Satve Prasidati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavat Bhakti Yogatah Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Hridaya Grantesh Chidyante Sarva Samshayaha Kshiyante Chasi Karmani Drishta evatmanishware. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we have to learn, try to learn this. See, we have a ready-made paragraph. This one full paragraph of all these 5 verses together, Prabhupada is given. How to approach Krishna. In fact, which is very difficult otherwise, right? But Srila Prabhupada has made it very easy by quoting these 5 verses. And these 5 verses, we must learn at the earliest. And try to learn the purport in that paragraph, which is given in the combined translation. See, whenever we are free, we should find time to go to Srimad Bhagavatam, where these 5 verses are there, and learn these verses and the purpose from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is how we should try to imbibe the Krishna consciousness, all the lessons, and put it into practice. So these 5 verses very, very important. How to know Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Step by step. So the translation goes like this. In the 7.1, it gives the full translation of all these 5 verses in one. It says, to hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures, or to hear from him directly through Bhagavad-gītā, is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lusts and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of Asamshayam Samagram, understanding of the Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead in toto. So 1 to 17 to 21. So therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna. So this is how Srimad Bhagavad-gītā and Srila Prabhupada catches our finger like a young boy and takes you from Bhagavad-gītā to Srimad Bhagavatam. And then you will understand Srimad Bhagavatam. See, there is a question to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, is it possible for us to worship Krishna? Is it possible to worship Krishna purely in this lifetime? So Prabhupada says, why not? He said, do you think we are simply wasting our time with this process? Why lifetime? Within a second you can do. It is a spiritual process. It is not a material process. That you require so much time. No. It requires simply the spiritual technique to know how you can develop attachment to Krishna. So Prabhupada says, as soon as you are a sent person attached with Krishna, your business is finished. In Narada Pancharatra, Aradito yadi haris tapasa tatha kim. If one worships Lord Krishna and considers Krishna him the goal of life, then there is no need to execute very severe types of austerity. On the other hand, if after executing all kinds of tapasya and one cannot reach Krishna, then all his tapasya has no value. For without Krishna consciousness, different types of austerities are wasted labor. Shrama eva hi kevalam. So the whole formula is that you have to develop your attachment for Krishna. So if you have developed such attachment for Krishna, then your business is finished. That's it. And if you cannot develop fully Krishna consciousness, then Prabhupada says all your labor is waste of time. There is no need of advertising yourself, that I am religious, I am philosopher, I am yogi. All is nonsense if at the end there is no Krishna consciousness. So if Krishna consciousness is there, then all the other things end. That is, and if there is no Krishna consciousness, these are all useless labor. So very nice. Narada Pancharatra 126, it says, Aradito yadi haris tapasa tatha kim, na aradito yadi haris tapasa tatha kim. So the whole business is how to develop attachment for Krishna. So this verse he says, if you have developed that attachment within a second, then the business is finished within a second. And if you cannot develop that attachment for years, then it is very difficult. Only test is how you have developed your attachment for Krishna. If you're serious about it, it can be done within a second. That's what Prabhupada. If you're not serious, it cannot be done in many lifetimes. So that depends on your serious nature. So Krishna is not a material thing that it requires some particular time to understand. No. The only thing is, Maya asakta manaha. You have to develop your full attachment to Krishna. That you can test, whether you have full attachment of Krishna. Now, the next question was further. So, how do you know when we have attained Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada says, when he develops attachment to Krishna. Nobody can certify him. He will certify himself. You have to certify himself. See, if you got attachment for any other thing, then you are not in samadhi. Apart from Krishna, if you have anything, then it is not samadhi. If you only have attachment for Krishna, then you are in samadhi. See, Prabhupada says you don't require certificate from others. You'll know yourself. Just like, give an example. Just like while eating, you can understand whether you are satisfied or not. See, while eating, if you're a hungry man, and if you're eating, you will know, I've eaten something, I'm feeling now strength is there. You don't require to inquire from your friend, no. Prabhuji, am I feeling strength? You will say, what nonsense? You know yourself. Similarly, Prabhupada says you can test yourself whether you have got full attachment for Krishna. If not, you are not in samadhi. So the test is in your own hands. And that is explained, right? Maya asakta manaha. In full attachment for Krishna. And you can then understand what is the meaning of attachment. See, you got attachment for sex. You got attachment for so many other things. Similarly, if you have developed attachment only for Krishna, and you have no more any other attachment, then you are in samadhi. It is not artificial, it is practical. Very, very powerful and important point. See, in this, Prabhupada says in the purport of this verse, right? In this chapter, 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, the nature of Krishna consciousness is fully described. So Krishna is full in all opulences. And how he manifests such opulences is described. And also in the 7th chapter, you can find 4 kinds of fortunate people who become attached to Krishna and 4 kinds of unfortunate people who never take to Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada says in the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad-gītā, the living entity has been described as non-material spirit soul, capable of elevating himself to self-realization by different types of yogas. At the end of the 6th chapter, it has been very clearly stated that the steady concentration of the mind upon Krishna, or in other words, Krishna consciousness, is the highest form of all yoga. By concentrating one's mind upon Krishna, one is able to know the absolute truth completely, but not otherwise. Impersonal Brahma Jyotir or localized Paramatma realization is not perfect knowledge of the absolute truth because it is partial. Full and scientific knowledge of Krishna is Krishna. And everything is revealed to the person in Krishna consciousness. In complete Krishna consciousness, one knows that Krishna is ultimate knowledge and beyond any doubts. So different types of yoga are only stepping stones on the path of Krishna consciousness. One who takes directly to Krishna consciousness automatically knows about Brahma Jyotir and Paramatma in full. By practice of Krishna consciousness yoga, one can know everything in full, namely the absolute truth, the living entities, the material nature, the manifestation with paraphernalia. So one should therefore begin yoga practice as directed in the last verse of 6th chapter. That is, concentration of the mind upon Krishna, the Supreme, is made possible by prescribed devotional service in 9 different forms, of which Shravanam, Tachrunu, right, is the first and most important. That's why Krishna says to Arjuna, Tachrunu, hear from me, hear not from anybody else. Because no one can be a greater authority than Krishna. And therefore, by hearing from Krishna, one receives the greatest opportunity to become a perfectly Krishna conscious person. So one has therefore to learn from Krishna directly or from a pure devotee of Krishna, not from other non-devotees or popular with academic education and all. So this is very important. And plus, please, in the purport, please go through this purport of 7.1, especially those 5 verses from Bhagavatam which Prabhupada has given, and then the full one translation. These 5 verses in translation, if we can memorize it, it's best to, there's nothing else to do. That can take us back home, back to God. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad-gītā ki jai. Shira Prabhupada ki jai, Nitya Gaur Hari Bol. Vancha Kalpatarush Kripa Sindhu Patitanam Pavanam. Thank you very much for this. Thank you for
Hare
Prabhuji
Krishna,
for
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam to everybody.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any questions or anything to share? You can go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna to all
Hare
devotees.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Hare
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.